Scattered across our planet are ancient sites that seem to defy time itself. Doorways to nowhere, mountains carved into whales, and pyramids hidden from history. Were they monuments or messages? Tonight, we follow the stones to uncover the truth. High in the Peruvian Andes, the Gate of the Gods, Peru in a remote region near Lake Titicaca, there's a place where stone and legend blur into one. Locals call it Puerta de Hayumara, the Gate of the Gods, a giant doorway carved into solid red sandstone, standing over 7 men tall and just as wide. At first glance, it looks like a doorway to nowhere, but if you listen to the stories that have been told here for centuries, it's far more than that. It wasn't until 1996 that the modern world learned of it, when a local tour guide named José Luis Delgado Mamani stumbled upon it during an expedition. For Mamani, the discovery was more than just archaeological, it was deeply personal. He claimed he had seen this exact doorway many times before in his dreams, and when he stood before it in the flesh, he felt an unshakable sense that it was calling to him. The gate is carved with remarkable symmetry. At its base is a smaller alcove, inside of which sits a circular depression, almost as if something, perhaps a disc or artifact, was once placed there. Archaeologists have dated the site anywhere from 200 BC to 1000 AD, but no one truly knows its original purpose. Here's where it gets strange. One legend tells of an Incan priest named Aramumuru, who fled the Spanish conquest carrying a golden relic, the key of the gods of the 7 rays. According to the tale, he placed the disc into the alcove, and the doorway erupted in a burst of blue light. In an instant, he vanished, never to be seen again. Other local traditions, particularly among the Aymara people, refer to the site as a spiritual threshold, sometimes as the devil's doorway, other times as a passage to the land of the gods. These aren't casual myths. They are part of a deep spiritual identity that has endured for centuries. Modern researchers have been split. Some believe it was purely ceremonial, a symbolic gateway meant to represent spiritual passage. Others, especially proponents of alternative history, see it as an actual portal, possibly to another dimension or even another planet. Giorgio Succulus, well known from Ancient Aliens, has speculated that the sun discs in legends could have been an extraterrestrial device designed for interdimensional travel. Adding fuel to the mystery is the fact that no major archaeological excavation has ever been conducted here. We don't know if the ground behind it hides chambers, tunnels, or anything else. It remains sealed, physically by stone and officially by Peruvian heritage protection laws. Standing in front of the gate, especially at dusk when the Andes cast long shadows, is a chilling experience. The wind whistles through the stone and you can't help but wonder. Is it nothing more than an ancient carving? Or is it the locked front door to somewhere far beyond our understanding? Naga Cave, Thailand. From the high mountain air of the Andes, we drop into the humid green heart of Kapılıkaya National Park in northeastern Thailand. Here, legend winds itself into the very rock, creating one of the most otherworldly sights on the planet, Naga Cave. Discovered by the public only in 2020, it didn't take long for images to spread across the internet. Massive stone walls ripple with scale-like patterns, so perfect that they look almost sculpted. To locals, these aren't just geological curiosities. They're the scales of the Naga, a colossal serpent of Buddhist and Hindu lore, a guardian of waterways, and a protector of sacred spaces. The most famous legend here tells of Puulu Nakrat, a Naga cursed and imprisoned beneath the land. For centuries, it was foretold that he would only be freed and the surrounding region would prosper. On the 10th anniversary of Buen Province's founding, strangely, that anniversary fell in 2020, the same year the cave became a sensation. Scientists have their own explanation. Park geologists say the scales are the product of 100,000 years of natural forces. temperature shifts that cracked the rock, followed by erosion from rainwater that carved the repeating diamond-like patterns. But here's the thing, science doesn't erase the story. If anything, the legends make the trek to Naga Cave even more compelling. Getting there is no casual stroll. The trail runs about 400 meters, with steep ascents, rope-assisted climbs, and narrow passes where the jungle presses close. The hike takes about 4 to 5 hours round trip. And while the park recommends that pregnant women and those with health concerns skip it, adventurers often describe it as the highlight of their trip to Thailand. The payoff, standing before a wall of stone that looks alive, like the flank of some titanic beast frozen in time. And in that moment, the line between geology and mythology disappears. Whether you see the Naga as a living being or a living legend, Naga Cave leaves its mark on you, much like those ancient scales etched into the stone. A few 100-kilometer away in Buen Province, Three Whale Rock, Thailand, another geological marvel awaits. One less hidden, but no less jaw-dropping. Locals call it Hin Sam Wan, or Three Whale Rock, and the name is no exaggeration. From the air, these massive stones look exactly like a pod of whales swimming through an emerald sea of forest. The rocks are ancient, about 75 million years old and part of a sandstone mountain range in Pusang. Over millennia, wind, rain and tectonic forces sculpted the formations into the whale-like shapes we see today. There's a mother whale, a father whale and a baby whale, though only the two larger ones are open to hikers. Climbing to the top is a sensory experience. The stone under your feet is warm from the sun. The forest canopy stretches endlessly below, and the distant Mekong River glints like a ribbon of silver. On a clear day, you can even see across to the mountains of Laos. Surrounding the Three Whale Rocks are other natural formations just as strange and beautiful. Elephant rock shaped exactly like an elephant's head. Natural windows carved by erosion and pools where rainwater collects in perfect circular basins. The entire area lies within Pusang National Park, a protected space that's part of Thailand's 7 Greens initiative, an effort to promote sustainable tourism while preserving fragile ecosystems. The best time to visit is early morning or late afternoon, when the light casts dramatic shadows across the whales' backs. Sunset here is nothing short of magic. The rocks glowing deep orange, the river turning gold, and the whales seemingly swimming into the horizon. It's a reminder that even without myths or legends, nature alone can craft wonders every bit as mysterious as those made by human hands. Ancient China's hidden mysteries. When people think of ancient China, the Great Wall and the Terracotta Army often come to mind, but the country hides other treasures, sites so puzzling they challenge everything we think we know about early civilization. Take the Yangshan Quarry near Nanjing. Here lies a single, unfinished stone block weighing an estimated 16,000 tons, more than 13 times heavier than the largest megalith at Baalbek, Lebanon. It's carved with precision, complete with protruding knobs whose function remains a mystery. Why was it abandoned? How could anyone, ancient or otherwise, move something so massive? And why do similar tool marks appear in sites thousands of kilometers away like Petra and Baalbek? Then there are the Long Caves discovered in 1992, when villagers drained what they thought were bottomless ponds. Beneath the water were 24 enormous man-made chambers, each as large as an aircraft hangar, with flat ceilings, angled walls, and perfectly uniform chisel marks. There's no record of their construction, no sign of the millions of cubic meters of stone removed, and no evidence of who built them or why. In Sichuan province, the 1986 discovery of the Sanging Dui site added another layer to the mystery. Archaeologists unearthed vast bronze masks with exaggerated eyes, intricate gold objects, and jade carvings, unlike anything else in Chinese history. The culture that made them appears isolated from known Chinese traditions, as if it sprang from an entirely different lineage. or perhaps from a much older, forgotten civilization. And then there are China's hidden pyramids. Over 200 of them rise from the landscape, many covered in vegetation and off-limits to excavation. The most legendary, the Great White Pyramid in Shanxi province, is said to stand over 1,000 ft tall, dwarfing Egypt's Great Pyramid of Giza. Many are aligned to the cardinal points and show astronomical precision, suggesting advanced knowledge of the heavens. Individually, these are archaeological anomalies. Together, they suggest that ancient China might hold the remnants of a civilization far older and perhaps far more advanced than we currently recognize. Kapılıkaya Rock Tomb. Turkey high, above the valleys of Turkey's Chor province, carved into a sheer cliff face, stands the Kapılıkaya Rock Tomb, a silent monument to a man named Iatzios, a commander during the Hellenistic period in the 2nd century BC. The tomb's location is dramatic, 65 meters above the valley floor, in a place where wind whips constantly across the rock. To reach it, visitors must climb 2 sets of steps, first 8, then 12, before standing before its massive stone doorway. Above the entrance, the name Etzios is still visible after more than 2,000 years. And inside, niches cut into the walls depict the dead in solemn repose. From a historical perspective, it's a remarkable piece of ancient craftsmanship. But from a folkloric one, it's something more. Local legends tell of treasure hunters who entered and never returned, of a hidden tunnel that stretches all the way to Amasia, and of gold hidden deep within its chambers. At one point, looters even used dynamite in an attempt to blast the stone door apart, damaging the site and leaving scars still visible today. The tomb was restored in 2010, but its true secrets remain locked away. Whether it holds treasures, tunnels, or simply the bones of a long-deaded commander, Kapılıkaya remains a place where history and legend cling tightly to the rock. Ukochaski Pyramids, Ecuador, perched high in the northern highlands of Ecuador, at 3,100 meters above sea level, lies one of South America's least known yet most impressive archaeological sites, the Cochasi Pyramids. Here the Karanki people built 15 massive truncated pyramids and 21 burial mounds called tilas between the 10th and 16th centuries. Some pyramids rise over 20 meters, commanding sweeping views of snow-capped volcanoes and surrounding Andean peaks. And these weren't just ceremonial structures. Archaeologists believe they functioned as precise astronomical observatories, allowing the Qurani to track solstices, equinoxes, and lunar cycles with remarkable accuracy. The site covers 84 hectares and includes museums, botanical gardens, and trails through the grass-covered mounds. But the real magic is in imagining what it looked like centuries ago when these structures were new. Sunlight striking the platforms at exact angles on specific days, marking the passage of time for a people whose calendar was written in the sky. To walk here is to stand in the shadow of Andean engineers and astronomers whose knowledge rivaled any in the ancient world. End from Peru's Gate of the Gods to Thailand's serpent-shaped cave and Wailik Mountains. From the impossible megaliths and pyramids of China to Turkey's cliffside tomb and Ecuador's sky-high pyramids, one thing is certain. The past holds more than history books will ever tell us. Some of these places have explanations grounded in geology and archaeology. Others remain stubborn mysteries with legends that refuse to fade. Were they simply the work of human ingenuity, people carving meaning into stone? Or are they echoes of a knowledge older, deeper, and perhaps not entirely of this earth? We may never have definitive answers, but maybe that's the point. The questions keep us looking, keep us digging, keep us wondering. Every ancient site is a message, even if we haven't learned the language yet. So the next time you stand before an ancient doorway, a rock shaped like a serpent or a pyramid hidden in the mountains, remember, stone remembers longer than we do, and somewhere in those stones, the past is still speaking. If you've enjoyed this journey into the world's most mysterious ancient sites, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and join us next time as we follow the next trail of history's most enduring enigmas.